Hi guys, hey, so I just thought I'd share with you a little bit about my story and how I got into breeding dogs. I remember when I was about 11 years old, we had a beautiful Cocker Spaniel. Her name was Gina, and we lived in Brazil, and she was a show quality Cocker Spaniel. My dad was really into dogs and having the best dogs, and so we raised Gina, and then he made some connections with some people in our town in Brasilia back in the 80s and found a suitable stud and bred her. And we had our very first litter of puppies. I don't think, looking back, we really didn't know what we were doing as far as raising a litter. I think we had a very, laid back approach, like nature will just handle it. That has definitely changed for me over the years. And so I remember having that litter and just being absolutely in love with these puppies. I would rush home from school and I would do my homework in the whelping box with the puppies. And I remember when those puppies had to go to their new homes and just how incredibly devastated I was because I was so bonded to those little guys. And so, yeah, so that's what started, I think, my passion for it, just that brief introduction. It was the only litter we had growing up. But then, when I was, I guess when my kids were little and I was staying at home with them and I had the time to really dedicate, maybe not so much the time, but the flexibility, let's put it that way, to dedicate to raising puppies. And I thought, that is something I really enjoyed, and I would love to be a part of providing like healthy, quality puppies to families, because I know that, when you adopt a dog, it's such a huge commitment. And so why not have like one that is very healthy and all the rest? So I went about learning about how to do that, and learning about health clearances and learning about pedigrees and learning about proper care for a litter and just getting connected, honestly, with the best vets. I'm so, so blessed to be a client of Dr. Hutchinson at Animal Clinic Northview for 25 years. People come from all over the country to go to my vet, and here I am. I'm only, 40 minutes away, so I consider myself super blessed, and I have learned so much from Animal Clinic Northview, and I know that, honestly, without them, I'm not sure I would still be doing this, because they have just really been such a source of support for me, and they have taught me so much over the past 25 years. So yeah, so that's how I got started, and I just love it. I love that I've been doing this for so long that I get Christmas cards from families, and I get updates all the time, and I absolutely love that. And then, I think I'm the first phone call or text when that dog passes away, and usually people are just like, thank you so much for giving me my best friend, and that, as hard as those moments are, I feel it's just special to be a part of that and to know that, I did everything I could to provide that wonderful dog. So yeah, that's how it started, and this is how it continues. I love it. I love every minute of it. It's not easy. I think probably people don't understand how hard it is, honestly. I think a lot of people think, oh yeah, mom just handles everything. And I'm like, no, we handle everything together. I'm very, very hands-on with our litters. And so it requires a lot of time and a lot of sleepless nights, but it's also incredibly rewarding when that go home day comes and I can see all those puppies thriving. It's such a blessing. So that's a little bit about my story I thought I would share. Let me know if you have any questions, of course. I'm happy to answer any of those for you. Thanks. Hi guys, Heidi here at Creekside, and I just wanted to introduce myself to you because I know that if you're looking for a breeder, that is an incredibly daunting task, and I also know that it requires trust. Sometimes, you're doing these things over email and maybe on the other side of the country, and you haven't had a chance to meet face to face. And I understand that. And so I just wanted to give you as much information as I can and let you know as much as I can about our program to help you in this process. So one of the things that probably makes us very different than a lot of other breeding programs is that we have a program called TLC. That's something that I actually developed, oh gosh, I would say about 20 years ago. And it was my solution to not having a kennel. So people will say, hey, I want to come visit your dogs. I'm like, well, I don't have a bunch of dogs here. And that is definitely by design, because I want all of our dogs to be a member of somebody's family. So our dogs live with our friends and family, and they're being spoiled rotten on somebody's couch. They're a member of the family. And that has given us just so much flexibility with working in our program. One of the things that if you have a bunch of dogs living together, the females will tend to go into heat together. Well, that's kind of crazy, right? Because then you end up having a lot of puppies at the same time, or you end up having to pick and choose. And so, and then of course, if you have studs on premise, it can be rather chaotic. So I much prefer this situation. So our TLC families are carefully selected and they work hand in hand with me. And it's been such a wonderful partnership. Basically, when a female comes into heat, they let me know. And then I start doing progesterone testing on them to make sure I know when they're ovulating. And then at the moment that they're ovulating and it's right for breeding, I take care of the breeding. And then mom goes to her TLC home for the rest of the pregnancy, of course, with prenatal instructions and prenatal supplements and all the rest. And then I get the female back about 5 days before they're due. And then we handle the delivery with Animal Clinic Northview. Dr. Robert Hutchinson is my vet and his staff is absolutely amazing. And then I handle taking care of the mom and the puppies until the puppies go home. So that has just been a win-win. I have loved doing that. And one of the things I really love about that approach is that I can focus on the puppies and the litter. Because I know that my adult dogs are being taken care of. I focus on mom and I focus on those puppies. It can be incredibly exhausting to raise a litter. If you've never done it, I don't really recommend it. It's just exhausting. I am very hands-on. I'm not one of those breeders that's like, oh yeah, mom will take care of it. I've learned over 25 years of doing this that by being hands-on, I can help save puppies and I can help definitely give the healthiest outcome to that litter. So I lose some sleep, but in the long run, it's worth it. So I'm up every 2 to 3 hours. When they're first born, I'm making sure all the puppies are latched on. I'm making sure everybody's peeing, everybody's pooping. I'm making sure mom is not getting backed up with milk and getting mastitis. So there's a lot that goes into it. And especially the first 1 or 2 weeks are incredibly demanding. And then it does get a little easier. It gets a little messier, but I actually don't mind the mess because it's less stressful as they get older. So that is our approach, and it has worked super, super well, and I'm so grateful to our TLC families. Our families are absolutely amazing. A lot of them have children, or they'll have other pets, or they'll have cats, and so our dogs are just being exposed to family life, right? Which is really what we want. And the wonderful thing about that is once a female is retired from our program, she already has her forever home. So I'm not looking to home anybody or because she's already in the home that she is going to be in forever and has been. So that has been such a blessing. So that is something that sets us apart. And we do, we're able to have a few litters a year. A lot of times people ask, how many litters a year do you have? And that's a tough question to answer because it kind of depends on how many of females I have that are of breeding age. We like to breed them between about the age of 2 to the age of 5. 5. We don't like to breed past 5 because that's actually considered high risk. So it kind of depends on the year. Some years it'll be as little as 1 or 2, and some years it'll be more like 5 or 6. So it just kind of depends. But yeah, it works really well for us, and we're very proud of doing things the way we do with our TLC homes. So what can you expect from us from the moment you decide, hey, I want to go with Creekside, until you take that puppy home? So let me give you like a general overview, okay? So as you've been looking for breeders, and if you've decided, you know, I trust Creekside, I want to go with them, then after we've had a conversation or some kind of communication, after you've filled out your adoption questionnaire and been approved, then you can go ahead and put a deposit down for the puppy, okay? Once that deposit is placed, you could do that on my website. Once that deposit is there, then I'll add you to a list. I kind of need to know if you want male or female, or I guess if it doesn't matter to you, just so I can know which list to put you on. And then once the puppies are getting ready to go home, when they go home, I will have all the families come in order of deposits. So then you get to make your selection at that point. If you live far away and we're flying the puppy to you, we can make that selection over FaceTime or over video. And I've never had a problem with that. That's always worked out super great. So yeah, so that is how that process will work. Your puppy will go home with you with their first set of shots. So they'll need shots again 4 weeks after that first set, and then 4 weeks after that. So it's really important during that time, as tempting as it is, don't take the puppy to PetSmart. Don't take them to like public places, because they are not fully immunized. If you already have a dog at home, just make sure that your dog is up to date on their shots, and that should be no problem. If you want your puppy to play with another dog, just make sure they're up to date on their shots. So they'll leave here with that first set of shots. They'll leave here having been dewormed. And then they'll leave here with their microchip. You'll just need to get that microchip registered. And also they'll leave here with their limited AKC registration. And then also, you know, from the moment they're born until they go home, we do lots of things here to make them smarter, to make them more social. And so some of the things that we do is we do the early neurological stimulation. So that means when they're real little, we handle them in certain ways. We get them used to certain stimuli. And we also do early sensory introduction. When you think about it, a little puppy is pretty helpless. When they're born, they can't see, they can't hear, right? But they can smell. So we take advantage of that, and every day we introduce them to a new scent for a couple weeks. And that actually really helps develop their brain power. So that's really cool. So we do a lot of that, and then we do like a puppy curriculum, in that we put them through some enrichment activities. So as they get older, you know, we introduce different toys to them. We give them little ramps to learn how to go up and down. We introduce them to the crate. You know, we let them know that the crate is a really fun, safe place. And, you know, now I will say it's a lot easier for me to put the puppies in a crate. I leave the door open so they can go in and they can go out. But, you know, they're very comfortable in a crate with their litter mates. Now, of course, when you take them home, you don't have the litter mates. So that's a little challenge because your puppy, you know, is going to be lonely for a little bit. And that's an adjustment, but they all have to go through it, and they'll do it just fine. So yeah, so those are some of the things we do. We introduce them to loud noises. We introduce them to, you know, even like having a cooking show going on the TV in the background. It's like, that's super helpful for them, right? Because they hear the blender, they hear the noise, they hear forks, they hear like household kind of noises. And so that's good. My house is a very busy house. I have 6 children. And even though they're older, you know, they're always in and out, and they're always in and out with friends. And so there's always something exciting going on around here. Of course, you know, when the weather is nice, we're outside, we're playing with the puppies. There's a lot of stimulation. So you can expect to take home a very well socialized puppy who's used to a lot of activity, and who, you know, it has been really stimulated to be its very, very best. So that's a little bit about us. Well, I guess also let me go over, we do have a short-term guarantee. It's 5 days, and that's just for you to get the puppy checked out by your vet, just to make sure you're comfortable with everything. And then of course our long-term guarantee is 2 years. And so that guarantee is available to you online too, so that you can read and see what all is included with that. So that's a little bit about what you can expect from us. Dog food and all of that, I can give you that information so that you're ready to go with that. But yeah, it's an exciting day, go home day. It's a little bittersweet for me because of course I've invested so much into the puppies, and it's hard to see them go, but it's also incredibly rewarding to see all my work and to see a family just so happy to just welcome another member of the family. So that's super awesome.